Om Stapakaya च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोः श्रित्वा प्रणमामि गौरवं। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्द स्वामी सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामी Brahmananda and Swami Atmapriyanandaji, some devotees. It's a matter of great joy and privilege that we have a great Maharaj with us. It is the first time he has come here. He couldn't come for the inauguration. Over the years, because of unending hours of work late into the night, he has completely spoiled his health. So it's very difficult for him. He has to undertake quite a lot of travel because several parts of the world they call him for talks, conferences, etc. Although he's a monk for 47 or 48 years, but then his association with the Merton mission is more than 60 years probably. And he has had the occasion to come in close contact with many great souls in the order of the second generation, the generation after the direct disciples. So although he is extremely well versed in scriptures and a very great scholar, still I requested him to talk about two of the great direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, namely our very dear Raja Maharaj and also Sri Maharaj. Because there's a huge collection of some of the rarest incidents from their life, which will be really uplifting for sadhakas. I've always been telling you in all our meetings, this small center of the Ramakrishna order would like to develop this place as a kendra, a place for serious spiritual aspirants. That's why all our programs have all been designed in that direction. So that's why I requested Maharaj to speak about these two direct disciples, because when you really listen to those inspiring incidents, you transcend time and you really become deeply immersed in those wonderful associations and thoughts, and that will be really uplifting. So yes, very kindly agreed. We came here probably at 1:30 to reach the ashrama. It's here again tomorrow early morning. We have to leave for our retreat center in Sharda Tapovan, where again he will be conducting a 3-day retreat on the Avatar Tattva based on Bhagavad Gita as well as Bhagavad Gita. So I request Maharaj to address.
How much time do we have? 1 hour. Oh. Very promptly they showed me the clock. There was a person who went on talking, they showed him the clock. Still he went on to show him a calendar. So before we begin, in a lighter tone, I have been repeating this incident almost every occasion and such occasion. Long ago, about 20 years back, when I was the Vice Chancellor of Ramakrishna-Vivekananda University, I was invited for a Vice Chancellor's conference in Bangkok. In America, as you know, Vice Chancellors are called presidents. Vice Chancellor, typical British term. Since we were in the British, we have borrowed all these terms. The inauguration of this conference was done by the Chancellor of Oxford University. He's a very erudite person, as you know, and extremely witty also. He began by saying the following: I went to an international conference and asked the audience, how long should I speak? In one voice they said, "Sir, you have come from so far away, you are so learned. Please do speak as long as you like and as long as you can, but we are leaving after half hour." That's a very interesting thing to happen.
Our devotees will stay as long as you speak. No problem.
So Shantatmanji is my very, very old friend. We used to go to Chennai Mutt, at that time called the Madras Mutt, which was presided over by Swami Kailashanandaji. So our spiritual life grew through the severe scoldings day in and day out by Swami Kailashanandaji for 5 full years. He was a disciple of Swami Shivanandaji Mahapurush Maharaj. Every sentence of his will begin with Mahapurush Maharaj used to say. Every sentence, invariably, he was full of Mahapurush Maharaj. And he used to reminisce about the direct disciples first hand. So that was a charming thing. We have been together for nearly 65 years. Om yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedanscha pranoti tasmai tamhadevam atmabuddhi prakasham vimukshar sharanamaham prapadye nishkalam nishkriyam shantam niravadyam niranjanam amritasya param setum dagathendhanamivanalam Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya aviravirmayedhi rudrayatte dakshinam mukham tena mam pahi nityam Om shanti 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 Shakti samudra samudhatarangam darshita prema vijrambhitarangam samshaya rakshasa nasha mahastram yami gurum sharanam bhavavaidyam advaya tattva samahita chittam prajvala bhakti patavrita vrittam karma kalevara madbhuta cheshtam yami gurum sharanam bhavavaidyam Naradeva Deva Jaya Jaya Naradeva. Dear and respected Swami Shantatmanandaji, his assistant, young dynamic monks around, brahmacharis, and dear devotees of this part of the country. Of course, they belong to the whole India. I have seen many of them at Belur and several other places. I have been requested by Shantatmanji, my dear friend, to please talk about Swamis Brahmanandaji and Swami and Ramakrishna-Nandaji. I was hesitant because we become emotional talking about them. Advaita is the safest because the driest. So you don't have any emotion with Brahman. Brahman looks at you, you look at him, nothing happens. But when Brahman comes down in the form of a human being as an avatar, he brings with him a galaxy of people. Christ had 12 disciples, Ramakrishna had 16 monastic disciples, sannyasin disciples, and several other householder disciples, and their disciples and their disciples. So the Parampara continues. All of you also are the Ramakrishna family. Swami Veereshwaranandaji of revered memory, the 10th president of the Ramakrishna order, when he talked about this particular aspect of the Sangha, Ramakrishna Sangha, during the famous convention, 1980, second convention of the order, he began by saying that all of you here belong to the Ramakrishna Sangha, addressing the devotees, brahmacharis, sannyasins, because he said Ramakrishna Sangha has a wider connotation. Anybody who is working anywhere in the world, following the ideology of Ramakrishna, Sharada Devi, Swami Vivekananda, and the host of the direct disciples of Ramakrishna, Every one of them belongs to the Ramakrishna Sangha. You should not imagine we wearing the Girva robe and sitting here alone form the Sangha. We need all of you. This was the lesson we learned when Swami Vivekananda called a meeting on the 1st of May 1897. As soon as he returned from the West, he felt the need of an organization. A very interesting story. Swamiji was pacing up and down, soliloquizing. Should I start an organization or should I not? If I start an organization, then the infinitely broad ideas of Ramakrishna are likely to be narrowed down, and Ramakrishna Mission and Ramakrishna Math later on could claim, we are the monopolizers of Ramakrishna. Our version of Ramakrishna, the final, you people should follow it. It has not come so far because it's so liberal and so deep. Swami Vivekananda will come with a stick and beat us, so we will not allow it so easily. It is likely, Swamiji said, it has happened in several other organizations. But if I do not have an organization, there will be no nucleus from which the ideas can spread. Ultimately, we had one by the divine will of Ramakrishna himself. So we believe that the organization called the Ramakrishna Math and the Ramakrishna Mission, which Swami Vivekananda began in the 1st of May 1897, they owe their origin to the divine will of Ramakrishna. And if you ask Ramakrishna, he will say, "Oh, Amiki jane ma sab jane ma kuriyech." This is one interesting way he used to escape. You ask him anything, I don't know anything, mother knows. If you ask Jagadamba, Avatar, and he says, "What do I know? Brahman knows." If you go to Brahman, he doesn't talk. Nirgun Nirakar, so that is the end of the story. So we believe, correctly so, that the entire organization was started by Ramakrishna through Swami Vivekananda, later on consolidated through Swami Brahmananda, Shivananda, Ramakrishna and others, firmly founded on spiritual basis. What is the ideal of Ramakrishna Mission? Some of you may be interested in studying 3 famous articles which Swami Satswarupananda of revered memory, he was the Prabuddha Bharati edited, 1955, 1956. 2 years he was the editor of Prabuddha Bharata. 3 famous articles he wrote: Ramakrishna Mission, its ideal, the founding of the Ramakrishna Mission, and the consolidation of the Ramakrishna Mission. Please do read this. These are available now perhaps in the archives. And the Advaita Ashram has brought out a collection of the Prabuddha Bharati articles also, editorials. So what is the purpose? What is the goal of this organization? Satswarupananda writes, the goal of Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Math, cannot be anything other than what Ramakrishna represented. What does Ramakrishna represent? He was not a great orator. Not only not a great orator, he was a very, very poor speaker. He is stammering, Kotla Chilovnar. He used to stammer along. He was not a great warrior like Napoleon. And he was not a great writer like many of the great writers of the world, like Romero, etc., who wrote about Ramakrishna. He was not getting a great scholar in the ordinary sense. And he used to snub all scholars, starting from Mahendranath Gupta M. So what was he? He lived God, he breathed God, he was soaked in God, he had his being in God. Whatever kind of conception of God you may have, what is his conception of God? Swami Vivekananda described famously, broad as the skies and deep as the ocean. In fact, Vivekananda said, even if you can find a limit to Brahman, which is infinite, Akhanda Satchidananda, you can't find a limit to Ramakrishna's ideas. Ananta Bhavamaya Thakur, that was his description. Bhava is a very difficult word to translate into English. Bhava is attitude, bhava is emotion, bhava is inclination, bhava is a set of ideas, moods. Ananta Bhavamaya, that means infinite of the spiritual paths. Tini Ananta, Atho Ananta. Never limit God by saying He is this, and nothing beyond. In the rules book which Swami Vivekananda composed, particularly for the sannyasins of the order, he wrote, Kamane Kanchaner Nyay Shri Bhagavan কোনো ভাবকে বর্জন করতে শিখিয়াছিলেন, সে হলো ভগবানকে ইতি ইতি করে ওর ভাবকে খণ্ডন করা। If Ramakrishna taught anything, to give up, to despise anything as much as lust and gold, it was to limit God's infinitude. God is infinite and He cannot be limited by the human intellect and the understanding of the human beings. What you can understand of God is limited by your intellect, by your understanding, by your prejudices and bias, by your background, by your proclivity, by your prejudices. What He actually is cannot be described, cannot be understood. But what little we know is good enough for us. In his own characteristic style, he says, why should I know how much of wine is there in the shop? A little peg will completely satisfy me and intoxicate me. He repeatedly said, be intoxicated with love of God, divine love, and be absorbed in Him. You may ask, then what about those jobs, what about our family? That will go much better than you thought it would. He put God first and everything will follow automatically. The famous example you know, if you put 1 and put zeros, the value of the zeros increases. Suppose Atmapriyanandaji goes for CSR donation for the center. Then somebody says, please sit down, I'll write out a check for you. He writes 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. After 5 zeros, he gets excited. Please stop. What, are you kidding? He smiles, put 1 before that. Sir, add some more zeros. What is the meaning? That 1 adds value to all the zeros. I also funnily say, the zeros also add value to the 1. This is Ramakrishna's special teaching. Just like God, divinity, Brahman, they add value to the world, by which the world is permeated and pervaded. Yena sarvamidam tatam, Gita 1846. Similarly, the world also gives value to God. Oh, tini Raja, janen? Kon Raja? Raja kishu nahi, tini Raja. He is the king of this kingdom. Which kingdom? There is no kingdom. What does it mean? See, if God is Sarveshwara, what is it is ruling? He has to have Jagat and Jivas so that he can rule over it. This is Ramakrishna's special philosophy called Vijnana, which means Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, all the 3 of them form a package. Now these ideas were all there in the Upanishads and the Gita, but the person has to come and live it so that you can understand. Life alone can transmit and kindle life. The small poem which all of you must have read in school, as one lamp lights another, nor grows less, nobleness enkindleth nobleness. All knowledge is there in the dictionaries and the encyclopedias. All knowledge is there in the internet now, in the YouTubes. Many of the people have YouTube gurus. They follow the YouTube guru and then they follow whatever he says, their meditations, etc. But there's no life in it. Only life alone can transmit life. That's why the Guru is so much emphasized. Because Guru is a living person. So the Parampara is important. The Parampara means the divine incarnation and his Shakti, Sharada Devi, and his chief disciple, Swami Vivekananda, who is called the Nara Rishi. Nara Narayana Leela has been spoken about in the Bhagavatam and other scriptures, the Puranas, the Veda Vyasa. He created two immortal characters called the Nara Rishi and the Narayana. The infinite, as it were, divided itself into two halves and made them undergo intensest austerities in Madhurika Ashrama for the good of humanity. What is the Narayana or the Nara? And age after age they incarnate as the Avatara and his chief disciple, who is the helpmate in his mission. When Ramachandra came, Hanuman Mahavir was the Nara Rishi. When Sri Krishna came, Arjuna was the Nara Rishi. When Buddha came, Ananda was the Nara Rishi. When Jesus came, Saint Peter was the Nara Rishi. When Sri Chaitanya came, Swami Nityananda was the Nara Rishi. When Sri Ramakrishna came, Narendranath, later Swami Vivekananda was Nara Rishi. Very first occasion, remember this. He took him to the small circular veranda and said, with folded hands, Jani Prabhu, tumi Nara Rishi Narayan, Lokodhar Korar Jonno, Shoriyar Dharan Kore Eshecho. Naren was hardly 17, 18, teenage boy. Naren said, stark mad. I am the son of Vishwanath Datta. I am only a teenager. What is he talking about? Then again he came and said it was normal. Naren couldn't place anything of that. So this Leela is going on and on. We are so fortunate. We are so near the most recent incarnation of God, and what Swami Vivekananda said, the most glorious. Why glorious? By contrast to the intensest darkness of tamas and most diabolical things which are happening in the present day, now, today, wars, acrimony, strife, hatred, violence. By contrast to this darkness, the light which is shining as Sri Ramakrishna, the light of the modern world, is the brightest in the firmament of spirituality in India and the world. He left certain disciples, as you know. Swami Vivekananda is the most well known. And the problem of understanding Vivekananda is so multi-sided. Why it is so difficult to understand Vivekananda for most people, including us? Vivekananda is thought to be a great speaker by somebody, as a great scholar by somebody, as a great philanthropist, a person who did so much for the poor, and a great Sanskritist, great singer. What he was not is extremely difficult to find out. Because of that, his glory and power, the immensity of his personality overwhelms us. We are swept off. The story in Vivekananda's life, some of the American disciples were talking with one another. Who is the greatest preacher of Vedanta who has come to America and the West? Nobody mentioned Vivekananda's name, interestingly. But one of the Vivekananda's staunch followers and disciples said, but what about Vivekananda? Don't you think he is the greatest? Then they smiled and said, we dare not mention him. He overwhelms us. That's why it is safer not to go too near Vivekananda. You will be simply overwhelmed. It's very difficult to come back to your moorings and do your samsara anymore. From a distance you admire Vivekananda, say joy to Vivekananda, etc. Keep a safe distance. This has happened in the West. When Swami Vivekananda was talking to the people, Jnana Yoga lectures, they couldn't understand a word, of course. Completely uninitiated into Vedanta and Jnana, but the power behind the words, he was not even speaking, was so overwhelming. Swamiji himself mentions the kundalinis of thousands of people got awakened, They were almost entering into a kind of samadhi. Sri Ramakrishna intervened and said, Naren, thak, not too much. The power which Sri Ramakrishna imparted to him, the Mother Kali imparted to him, by that power he would have simply thrown the whole world overboard. So much of power he brought with him. Sri Ramakrishna was constantly watching over him even after his Mahasamadhi to tone down his power by kind of a step-down transformer so that the world is not washed away. The most beautiful description of Swami Vivekananda, one of his American disciples, the Reminiscences. He is like a mad bull in a china shop. Porcelain shop. Suppose a mad bull enters the porcelain shop, simply whole thing is devastated. If you come too close to Vivekananda and try to follow him seriously, you can't be the same person anymore. If you want to be transformed in spiritual life, and if you want to be devastated for good reasons, then be at a safe distance. The story of Kidi is well known. Kidi was Shingarivelu Mudalayar, great professor. His voice was like a kidi. Kili means in Tamil, kili means a parrot. He came to challenge Vivekananda. He is an atheist. He said, can you give me samadhi by mere touch? I can, but don't try it. I will experiment. Kidi, don't do it. He went and touched him. He was completely smashed. He couldn't go back home. His wife and children came and cried. What happened to him, he himself didn't know. This life gone and the worldly life also gone. It seems he used to go every day to beg for food in his own house where he was the master. And his wife and children severely used to scold him and drive him away. Are you not ashamed? Then Swami Ramakrishnananda, Shashimara said, Kidi, why are you going every day and get scolded and bashed and severely you are being constantly and severely they insult you. Then said, no, please don't take away the great privilege of my ego being crushed. I go to my own place, insulted and scolded, my ego will be crushed. This privilege, please don't deny me. Next in command was Swami Brahmananda, who consolidated the Ramakrishna mission. Swami Vivekananda bulldozered. He had a bulldozer and finished off, cleared the jungle and established the Ramakrishna mission. Quickly passed away. And he was extremely eager to go. He went to the west. Suddenly he told Miss Josephine McLeod, I have to go. Not only from the west, from the body. This is one beautiful thing these people have, power they had. Suppose we are tired, I don't want to be here anymore, I can't stay here. We can change places, we can change centers, we can change cities, we can change jobs. Can you change your bodies? They change the body, they give up the body. Ichha Mrityu, which was given to him as a gift in Amarnath by Shiva. I should go. Josephine McLeod is dear American disciple who chose to call herself not a disciple but a friend of Vivekananda. Said, why go? The small plants can't grow under shade of a big tree. I have to go. 4th of July 1902, Ms. Josephine McLeod was not in India. She got a telegram. Swami attained nirvana. She writes in the Reminiscences. She wept and wept and wept and wept. Days on end, weeks on end, months on end. Till she read a letter by Maeterlinck, the famous literature, who said, if you love somebody, show it by your actions and not by your tears. Then they stopped crying and take forward the mission. Go back to Belur Mutt in imagination. 4th of July 1902, Swami Brahmananda was in Calcutta, Balaram Bosa's house. Swamiji chose to leave the body when Brahmananda was not there in Belur. They were so close, they used to call Hariharatma. In Bengal is a famous phrase. Hari is Narayana, Hara is Shiva. Temperamentally, they are just the opposite. But they are extremely close. They are one and the same soul, as it were, in two different manifestations. Hariharatma. Swami Brahmananda and Swami Vivekananda, Naren and Rakhal, they are Hariharatma. Swami Vivekananda writes in Bengali letters, Abhinna Hridayeshu. Of course, English they couldn't translate it. They call Dear Rakhal. Abhinna Hridayeshu means a person, both of them have one heart beating together in resonance. How much they loved each other cannot be understood. Remember Swami Vivekananda's predicament. His guru told him, this message has to spread, go and spread. Establish the Sangha. He specifically told him, Naren, you will be the leader. Tui buddhiman. Ei chokra ke jo badi na jaye. These boys should not be allowed to go back home. Those who brought children, don't be afraid. We are not going to snatch away. Ei chokra gulo jo badi na jaye. Ekatra theke sadhan bhajan korbi. You see to it that they are brought together in the same place. He had no choice. See, look at Ramakrishna's management. He told Naren, take care of these boys. Told the boys, take care of Naren. Done. Naren, they rented a house, you know the story. Bhuterbadi, ghost haunted house in Baranagar. They threatened him, oh, don't be careful. They're ghosts. No, we are much better ghosts. We'll drive away those ghosts. Because sannyasins are called the bhutas of Shiva. Then he had a very unenviable task of keeping the flock together. Remember, his mother and brothers were starving. So things were not easy. His father passed away. And the oust, the two brothers and mother from that house, people who, at the mercy of Vishwanath Datta, they ate there, they swindled all his money, because Vishwanath was too liberal to a fault. They went against them, filed a suit in the High Court, ousted them, to evict them. Swamiji said, we'll fight it in the court. He was roaming abroad preaching. Who will take care of the court case? Rakhal. This story is somewhat unknown. He writes to Rakhal. Raja, he was called Raja because Swami Ramakrishna in the divine mood said, Rakhale Raj Buddhi ache, Rajya chalate pare. Naren was quick to grasp this idea and then told everybody, from tomorrow I will call him Raja. He was literally a Raja. And Raja, Ami Kake Boli, I can't tell anybody except you. You please take care of the court case. I can't send any money to you. Whatever money I have is for the mission. I can't touch a single pie there. Till the end of Swamiji's life, Rakhal took care of the court case. Just toward the end of Vivekananda's life, the court case was settled. Paltu, one of the disciples, household disciples, said, please settle this out of court. Because it's dragging on. And Rakhal innocently writes it to Swamiji, gets the severest banging. Who is this Paltu to tell me? I will fight to finish. I'm a fighter. I will never settle out of court. On the one hand, the great message Ramakrishna gave him, he asked to preach that. On the other hand, his mother and brothers are starving. There is a beautiful lecture by him, My Life and My Mission. Go today, if you have the book or the internet, just read that small talk. He says, the young boy was torn between these two. Then I thought, what if a mother or two brothers die? It's a sacrifice. The heart has to be plucked out and the bleeding heart placed upon the altar, that is how great things are done. Rakhal was constantly with him. Swamiji chose to die, chose to pass away in Mahasamadhi, 4th of July. The entire mantle fell upon Swami Brahmananda. It was not easy. As long as Swamiji was alive, everybody is looking to Swamiji. Suddenly the leader passes away, everybody saw only darkness. Many of the sannyasins started leaving. Swamiji is not there, what is the inspiration? Swami Ashokananda says later on, he was a San Francisco head. Several decades later, I went to Belur. I could see the shock of Swamiji's passing away still visibly present at Belur. Vivekananda passes away. Where are we? What is the inspiration? Brahmananda spoke very little. Then I heard from senior Swamis. Swami Sharadananda called all the Swamis and said, we are also shell-shocked. We are also in a kind of delirium. We can't speak, we cry and cry. But tell me, if we abandon the work Swami Vivekananda has started and run away for tapasya, would it please Swami Vivekananda's soul, or if we continue his work? Being the extraordinary management person that he was, he said, you promised me for 5 years, you stay put here and take forward his work. Why 5 years? He said, once you get a taste of it, you'll continue. It's a tremendous crisis in the mission. And many organizations are inimical to the mission, even now there are many. Everybody has some enemies, including avatars. They were rejoicing, do you know Ramakrishna mission is gone. Swami Vivekananda passed away and the mission is now gone. It had to go. Even now, some great religious leaders, such language they use against Swamiji. But did not go. As Swamiji says, my plan of campaign, he went to Theosophists for help. Then Colonel Olcott said, will you join our organization? I said, no, I don't believe in most of your views. Then the door was slammed upon me. Later on, when I became successful, they are claiming that they paved the way for my success. This was not paving the way for my success. A man living in a place where the thermometer registered 30 degrees below zero, without warm clothes, without knowing where the next meal will come from, such a person is not so easily intimidated. Then they said, now the devil is going to die. Swamiji says smilingly, but unfortunately the devil did not die. What kind of struggles they have passed through. You should read all this to know. We are now happily sitting in an air-conditioned room thanks to Shantatma's beautiful infrastructure. Every little bit of it is brick by brick built by the blood of these great direct disciples. Particularly Swami Brahmananda and Swami Ramakrishnananda, which is our topic of discussion. Swami Brahmananda was always absorbed in Samadhi most of the time, just a chip of Sri Krishna. He was a Rakhal, Krishna Sakha. Like Sri Krishna himself, you can't really place him what he is. Those who have studied a bit of Bhagavata and Mahabharata will know what a great magician that he was. How many kinds of tricks he played. Called Mayavi. But all the time humble. His actual work which he assigned to himself was Partha Sarathi. What is Sarathi? Driver. Shampooing the horses in the morning, feeding them, getting the chariot ready. Uvacha Partha Ashaitan Samavetan Gururti. And he said, Senayor Ubhayor Madhya Rasam Stapayame Achyuta. Hey Achyuta, hey driver, come here. Keep my chariot betwixt these two armies. That was the role he chose for himself. The Rajasuya Yaga was performed. You know what was the role he chose for himself? To wash the feet of the Atithis who came. That is the beauty of Sri Krishna Bhagavan. The humblest of the humble, but the power which he ensured, everybody knew it. About Sri Ramakrishna, they say he was the humblest of the humble. Ami ki jani, sab jane nune. Everything he knew, and that's Ami ki jani re, ma sab kurche. Mother does everything. Sri Krishna's personality is so enigmatic. Even now there are so many varieties of versions of Krishna. Bala Gopala in the beginning, stealing butter, playing pranks, but manifesting the highest power, killing these demonesses. Then you come to Gopi Vallabha Krishna, the charming Sri Krishna. Then you have the Gitacharya Krishna. Geetam Shantam Madhurvapaya Simhanadam Jagarja. Then you get the Mathuradesha Krishna. How many varieties of Krishna you get? Swami Brahmananda, people couldn't understand what he was trying to do. He used to speak very less. He used to speak through the spiritual power which is emanated, like Sri Ramakrishna himself. We speak, people listen, they say, oh, so good, etc. Quickly it vanishes, it evaporates, it should, because there's no power behind our words. Swami Vivekananda has 2 lectures about my master. The book is available. Turn to the last page of that book, where he ends the lecture saying, the message of Sri Ramakrishna to the modern world is this. That paragraph you take out, note it down in a notebook and memorize it. That's one of the most remarkable passages where Swami Vivekananda himself describes his master's message. What is the message? Become a dynamo of spirituality. Without spiritual power, nobody can be transformed. Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmanakaranam. Shankaracharya says in Viveka Chudamani, mellifluous language you can speak, you can mesmerize people. Without spiritual power, everything will evaporate. Swami Brahmananda spoke very little. People couldn't understand what he was. He was so deep and so calm, deceptively simple like a child, and such a powerhouse of spirituality, so much so, Swami Vivekananda himself said, I also do not have the spirituality which Rakhal possesses. Many of the disciples of Rakhal later times they said, our Guru is greater. And they don't remember that Swamiji used to praise everybody more than himself. Look at the assessment which Ramakrishna himself gave. Because he was chosen by Ramakrishna as the Raja, Swamiji knew he will be the first president of the mission. When the Ramakrishna mission came into existence, briefly Swamiji was made the president, but he quickly resigned and made Raja the president of the order. 1901, the first trustees meeting of Belur was held under the chairmanship of Vivekananda himself. And Swami Brahmananda was elected president, Swami Yogananda the vice president, and Swami Sharadananda was elected the secretary. That also was chosen by Ramakrishna himself. Suddenly Ramakrishna sat in the lap of Sharadananda and said, Patoda bhar nite pari deklam. How much of weight he can bear. On the one hand is the weight of Holy Mother Sharada Devi's whole family, market house of mad people. On the other, the entire mission. Very, very difficult days. British were watching us all the time. How many stories? One story I've heard Swami Satsurupananda himself was an eyewitness. The entire mission, the savior of Swami Brahmananda, Holy Mother on the one side. Mother used to live in Udbodhan in Calcutta, as you know, and Brahmananda was in Belur, most of the time traveling. So these two stalwarts on both sides of the Ganges were overseeing the flow of the Ramakrishna Bhava Ganga on both sides. The British had a very keen eye. Many of the monks who gave up terrorism and joined the mission later, completely giving up and becoming spiritually transformed, were in the bad books of the British government. They knew, they had antecedents of these people. A police officer came, highly placed officer with a huge troop of people. They surrounded Belur, which I heard from some Satsrupananda. He was an eyewitness. And the sannyasis naturally terribly afraid. Brahmananda said, all of you go to sleep, eat and go to sleep, I'll manage it. How did he manage? The description which I heard, literally I'm narrating to you. He came out, pacing up and down, seriously, with extremely serious countenance, was pacing up and down. This police officer saw him. He couldn't proceed. As if some magnetic pull is taking him back, he goes a few steps forward and is being pulled back. He sees Brahmananda's face and shivers. He does not know what has happened to him. He's a very bold officer. He goes a few steps forwards, 3 steps forwards and 30 steps backward. It goes on for some time. Finally, he took all the policemen and ran away from that place. Then Brahmananda smiled and said, all of you know, take rest. What is it, charm? Is it miracle? Is it some kind of supernatural phenomenon? No. The power of the Spirit. Unfortunately, we do not have faith in the power of Spirit as much as in the power of wealth, power of position, and power of all the worldly things that we have. The power of the Spirit is infinitely more. Brahmananda ruled the mission for 21 long years as Swamiji passed away. Swamiji passed away in 1902, as you know. Brahmananda passed away in 1922. 21 long years, he was the uncrowned monarch of the mission. He was the Raja. He didn't have to say it. He lived like a child, like Sri Krishna. And he always used to deceive people so that they can believe that he is nobody, he is unspiritual, just to trick them. There is a story, he used to catch fish openly. Where is the president? They are catching fish. People used to call all kinds of things. One gentleman had come, a devotee. I want to meet the president. The president is there catching fish. Is this the president of Ramakrishna? Not. I will never come and meet him. What kind of president, spiritual person he is? He went away. He goes back home. The sight of Brahmananda catching fish is not leaving his mind. Day and night is only thinking of him. As if drawn by a magnetic current, he comes back. When he comes back again the next day to Brahmananda, Brahmananda is in Samadhi. What he is up to, extremely difficult to find out. And remember this, they may be spiritual, but such a soft heart they had. So much of compassion they had for all of us. We can never reach their heights, impossible. We can never approach them because they're so pure, so powerful, so spiritual. We feel so small. We know our defects. Brahmananda called everybody and said, no, don't worry. Reminiscences of Tara Sundari. Tara Sundari, Nati Vinodini, 2 women characters in Girish Chandra Ghosh's theatre. Since childhood, these female actors were groomed by Girish Chandra Ghosh as actresses. Obviously, you know, in those days, the people who were in the theatre, women particularly, were not considered very holy, and the society despised them all the time. Tara Sundari was passing through terrible days. So we remember all the celebrities, so-called, are extremely depressed all the time, deeply unhappy. The inner life of any celebrity, even now, most of the celebrities in the world committed suicide, as you know. Charlie Chaplin, who made everybody laugh all his life, himself died ending his life. So it is not easy. They are lonely, they are despised by people, they have no respect in society except some money. Tara Sundari was so terrible, going through tremendous agony. She wanted to end her life. She wanted to go to Puri at Bhuvaneshwar. In Bhuvaneshwar, she heard that Swami Brahmananda had come there. She comes to the ashrama at a very odd time, maybe around 12:30 or so. Everybody had their prasada, noon prasada, and Brahmananda was about to go for rest. Oh, Tara, oh, Nati, you have come. Such compassionately he talked to them. You have come so late. You should have informed me. What can I feed you now? He brought some prasad and all that. Afterwards, he said, come another day. Tell me earlier. See, my child, food sweets are not available in Bhuvaneshwar. Come another day. If you read the reminiscence of Tara Sundari, translated in English also, just 2 pages. I have never read it without shedding tears. That's why I told Shantaratmanda, please don't ask me to speak about these people. I can't control my emotion. Because such compassion for us. They may be spiritual, they may be extraordinary. Their samadhi we don't know, but their compassion we know. Swami Vivekananda and Swami Brahmananda were the 2 greatest compassionate people. Behind all that arise, awake and stop not and all that which he Summanadam Jagarja, behind all that was the softest possible heart which Swami Vivekananda possessed. That's a huge story. Brahmananda went on talking. Tara Sundari says, is this what is called father's love? I lost my father when I was very young. Nobody has looked upon me without an evil eye. Who am I? Despised by society, looked down upon everybody. Who is he? Swami Brahmananda, spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna and the Sangha Dhyaksha of the Ramakrishna order. She couldn't control the tears. She wept and wept and wept. The father, I'm terrible. I'm passing through some terrible days. Please give me some peace. Then Brahmananda says, look at the way they treat people. Sri Ramakrishna also used to do this. My child, I also passed through such phases. Ramakrishna also used to, not that they did, just to console us. So many worldly thoughts used to come to me when I was living in Dakshineshwar. Once I was sitting quietly and said, I shall run away from here even without telling Sri Ramakrishna. I can't be here and be assailed by worldly thoughts. I was thinking, thus suddenly Ramakrishna appeared. Kire, ki bhavchish? What are you thinking? He put his hand upon my head and my chest. Joy was welling up constantly. Ananda, Ananda, Ananda Keval. Very sorrow. Then Tara Sundari broke down and wept and said, Baba, Thakur tomake jeman korechen, amake to kore dite paro na? Can you not give me the same kind of peace and joy as Ramakrishna gave you by a touch? I'm terribly afraid to come to Math. Such holy saints are living there. So many spiritual people, including the devotees. I'm despised. I'm a fallen woman. I cannot go there. Brahmananda said, everybody is welcome to Sri Ramakrishna. You come. In one letter, Swamiji is warned by somebody. He says, many people who are not of good character, particularly women, are visiting the Math. And therefore all the great gentlemen of society are threatening We will not anymore come to Mutt or donate anything to Mutt. Mutt has become corrupt. You know what Swamiji wrote? Of course, Swamiji has exceptionally hyperbole language he used to use. He said, come foreign women, come prostitutes, come all the people who have swerved from their path. Ramakrishna wants all of you so that he can save you. Gentlemen, don't come, we don't care. That was the compassion. Patita Pavan, they call it. When somebody was talking, Swami Vivekananda was Patita Pavana. He came for the regeneration of the fallen, to give them solace and give them liberation. Swami Brahmananda, I am also Patita Pavan. Remember, these people are constantly in the highest spiritual mode. They were dwelling in God all the time, but how they treated the meanest of the mean like us. We are Tarasundari. We are Nativinodini. We are the worst of people. We know ourselves, but no fear in approaching them. This is the power of the avatara. Apiched suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhag sadhureva samantabhya samyak vyavasito isaha Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat chantim vigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Gita. Even if a person, the worst of sinners, if he comes to me with devotion, comes to me with sense of surrender, helplessness, I will make him a great saint tomorrow. Sri Ramakrishna gave Gerua cloths, saffron robes to his future disciples. One robe was remaining. He said, keep it for Girishchandra Ghosh. You know why he did this? Because he promised in the Gita, he will become Dharmatma tomorrow. He will sadhu, he should be considered as a sadhu. Then he tells, O Arjuna, declare to the whole world, my devotee will never perish, come to ruin. Sridhara Swami, the great commentator, overwhelmed with emotion and devotion, he writes, O Arjuna, go to a place where people are debating about my glory and say, can God even rescue the worst of sinners? They are expressing doubts. Go and say, I am Arjuna, come here. And then take some Yuddha Bheri and Dhak and all that, play the drums and say, I am Arjuna, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Lord's devotees will never come to ruin. Then they will come and fall at your feet and accept you as their Guru. These are the great sayings which only the incarnations can give. Only avatars can give abhaya. When Ramachandra came as an incarnation of God, very touching story in the Ramayana. Vibhishana is coming for Sharanagati. They used to come in the Akasha Marga. Then said, stop. He is hanging there. The democratic king that Ramachandra was quickly called a council of war, asked everybody, what should we now do? Many people said, he is a secret spy. Ravana has sent him, be careful, never accept him. Finally turned to Hanuman, Mahavir, Buddhimatam Varishtham, the wisest of men. You know what Hanuman said? Rama, even if Ravana comes and asks for refuge, you have to give. That is the purpose of your incarnation. Then Ramchandra said the famous words, Sakrideva prapannaya tavasmiti yachate abhayam sarvabhutebhyo dadamyetad vratam mama. Even once if somebody says, I am yours, sarvabhutebhyo abhayam dadami, I give fearlessness and refuge to all beings. That is my vrata. That is my vow. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami machucha. This is the vrata of Bhagavan. And Sri Ramakrishna said, O the Chaitanya Hok, I have come to give you refuge. Christ said, come unto me, ye that are weary and heavy laden, and I will give thee rest. That is the promise. So, all your Brahman and Atman, keep aside for some time. These incarnations of God tangibly want to give. A person was going to study the Upanishads. Mahapurush Maharaj Shivananda said, "Hey, where are you going?" And trying to study the Upanishads. What Upanishads? Study our lives. Amada Jivanta Path Karo. The direct disciples. And all the time in Samadhi. He was the president of the order. Not only the spiritual head, also he had to attend meetings, he had to sign the documents. He will not call meetings, Brahmanandaji. No, I am not well today, tomorrow let me see, etc. Go on postponing. Shuddhanandaji was in charge of conducting meetings, etc. Then a meeting was held. Brahmananda is presiding. All the direct disciples were the trustees at that time. Some topic about Ramakrishna definitely will come. Brahmananda was overwhelmed with ecstasy and then start dancing. All the trustees will dance around me. The meeting is over. This is a divine Sangha. Don't think it is an ordinary Sangha. Ordinary mission created by men, created by resolutions and notings in the proceedings book. This is the divine Sangha created by God, for God, to make all of us gods. One document had to be signed. Brahmananda was not signing the document. No, I'm not feeling well. Finally, Shuddha said, Maharaj, please sign, I have to send it to everybody. Oh, is it very urgent? All right, give me a pen. He took the pen. He's not signing. Maharaj, please sign here. He took the pen like a child. Sudhir, our naamta mone pudchana. He says, not a joke. He could not remember that he was a person. He could not remember that he had a name. Then he said, Brahmananda, oh. How many such stories are being told of Brahmananda? Just by a touch, by a glance, he would awaken the spiritual consciousness of people. Bhuvaneshwar. Very carefully they used to try to bring his mind down. One clue I give you to understand these great men. All of them are trying to do sadhana to bring their mind down. All of us are doing sadhana to keep my mind up. That is the only difference. Our mind, if it goes up a few inches, it comes down a few thousand miles. Their minds are constantly dwelling in the highest. To bring it down, they have to give some kind of ordinary suggestion. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, I will jal khabo, I will drink water, so that the mind will come down. Swami Brahmananda is pacing up and down, constantly going to Samadhi. Swami Nirvananda, Suji Maharaj was a dear disciple, serving him. He used to take the hubble bubble just to bring his mind down. When his mind came down just a little, he'll quickly go and then give it, so that if he misses that moment, again the mind goes. How they kept the body together and mind together for our sake is a huge saga in spiritual life. Remember, the kind of sacrifice we claim that we are doing for Ramakrishna is not even a pittance compared with the kind of sacrifice they have made. They sacrificed the highest bliss. Swamiji was the highest bliss in Nirvikalpa Samadhi in the Saptarsha Mandala. Sri Ramakrishna brought him down. Sri Ramakrishna's main task, even after passing away, constantly watch over Naren so that he is not lapsed into Samadhi. Lincoln Park in New York. He was sitting, Swamiji was sitting, almost he was getting into high state. Sri Ramakrishna appeared, no, not now, come down. This is already time is up, but Ramakrishnananda. Ramakrishnananda was the most faithful disciple, follower of Vivekananda and Rakhan. It's very, very strange. We have so many friends, almost on the same age. Remember, Ramakrishnananda was born just a few months after Swami Vivekananda and Swami Brahmananda. Age difference between Swami Brahmananda and Vivekananda, a few days, 9 days. And Swami Ramakrishnananda was born a few months later. You may admire a person who is very senior, and then you can say, oh, he's very senior, he's old. It's almost impossible to consider one's own peer of the same age, with the same reverence which he gave to Sri Ramakrishna himself. How he served Ramakrishna is a well-known saga in Chennai Math. Swami Vivekananda called him, Shri, তুমি আমাকে ভালোবাসো তো? Do you love me? Yes. You have to go to Madras. Take charge. It is not easy. He never left the relics of his Guru since the time they were installed at Paranagar Math. A Hindu sannyasin, not going to Kashi, not going to Vrindavan, not going to the Himalayas, no Rishikesh, no Uttarakashi, Sri Ramakrishna's relics. Day in and day out, and the service of his own Guru Bhais, brother disciples. He was absorbed day and night. There is no record that he went into Samadhi, he was meditating in caves, nothing. The moment he sat for meditation, he was in Samadhi, which he did not want. Somebody asked Ramakrishna-Nanda, Samadhi ki bhal lagbe? Haan, khub. Na tahale seva korte parbe na. If you had Samadhi, you can't serve. No, I don't want Samadhi, I want to serve. Serving Sri Ramakrishna when he was alive, serving Ramakrishna's relics when he was dead, when he passed away, serving the Guru Bhais, day and night service alone. We get tired. Oh, I would take off for a few months. Swami Tapasyananda of revered memory, who taught us for decades, Shantanu and myself, he said, a person who can steadily serve year after year, decade after decade, constantly, cheerfully, he is already a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukti itself all the pittance for them. Who cares for Jivan Mukti? Sri Ramakrishna had given them everything. The two great characters in Ramakrishna-Vivekananda tradition who did not want anything from Ramakrishna. Vivekananda also wanted Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Mother Sharada and Shashi Ramakrishna. They didn't want anything from Ramakrishna. I will tell you a secret in spiritual sadhana. If you want anything from God, He gives you that. This is the most dangerous. And then you will say, oh, God is so gracious. He is Kalpataru. I prayed for that and He gave it. Arey, you fool, He is cheating you. By giving what you want, He is cheating you so that you will not call on Him with devotion anymore. Only you will come as a beggar and want this. He will be glad to give you to hoodwink you. If you don't want anything from God, what does He do? He gets totally confused. Suppose you go to a great man, very powerful man, says, Sir, I didn't see you for a long time. I have great affection for you. Can I come? Yes, please come. He says, you want it? No, I just want to be there. I would like to be with you. I have great affection for you. I like your company. Can I sit here? Yes, sit. He goes on sitting. He is not moving away. So, what did you come? No, I don't want anything. What does he do? Got totally confused. I will tell you a trick to confuse God. Because God should not be left scot-free. He is tricking us at every time. We can also trick Him. And the devotees can trick God tremendously. Ram Prasad is a great trickster. In a song he says, Ma, if you don't oblige me, I will sue you in the court. We have a contract. You call me and then said, come to me, I will bless you, I will do nothing. You are doing nothing. I am crying and crying. Nothing is happening. And the contract signed by both of us, the memorandum of understanding, MOU in Kali and Ram Prasad is there with me. Shiver dolil shil mohare rekhechi hriday khule ebar nalish korbo nather ghore dikri lobo ekso wale. The contract signed by both of you, I kept it carefully in my heart. Now, if you don't follow that contract, break that contract, I will sue you in the court of Mahadeva, Nather Ghore, and in one hearing I will take an injunction against you. Don't push me that far. And Mother, Now the media is terrible. Everywhere, breaking news. Mother and son fight in the court. Dhoom maaye poye mukaddama, dhoom hobe Ram Prasad bole. Mother and son fight in the court, but don't push me that far. Come on, bless me now. This kind of Veer Bhakta. Don't cringe and fawn before God. God hates it. This is Swami Vivekananda's statement. Cringing and fawning, I'm weak, oh God, help me. Don't cry. Although Ramakrishna says cry, that is the cry of Vyakulata. Not cringing and fawning. What? You will not give me? Then Ramaprasad threatens Durga. Durga, you have not graced me. And just to save yourself, you should save me. Why? In Hinduism, there's a huge competition among gods. In other religions, if Christ doesn't help you, you have to go to Christ only. Nothing else, you can't do anything. There is only one God. Here, so many varieties of God. Durga doesn't grace you, go to Kali. Kali doesn't grace you, go to Jagadhatri. Jagadhatri doesn't help you, go to Ganesha. So every God has to keep the flock together by gracing their followers. He says, Ami Jodi Mori O Hara Shankari Durga Naam Keu Lovena. If I die calling on Durga, remember nobody will call on Durga anymore. Hey, where are you going? I'm going to Durga. No, don't go. See, Ramaprasad. Whole life he called on Durga. Durga did nothing to him. Come, I'll take you to Ganesha. That temple is very good. Siddhi Vinayak. So you will lose devotees. Be careful about it. So these are the various kinds of ideas, these devotees. And so many beautiful songs. Purandara Dasa. Those who know Kannada may know. I don't know much of Kannada, he knows. It says, Yanaga Ane, Unaga Ane, that's the beginning of the song. Purandara Dasa says, Oh Vithala, oh Sri Krishna, let us sign a contract. The contract, and you will sign, I will sign, all these devotees will be witnesses. Clause 1a. If my mind constantly doesn't dwell on you, then the onus is upon me, my fault. Right? Sign. Witnesses, sign. 1b. If you don't try to take my mind so that it constantly dwells on you, the onus is upon you. And innocently Krishna also signs. 2b. If I constantly don't keep holy company, the onus is upon me. Sign. 2b, if you don't provide constant holy company, the onus is upon you. So the whole thing he puts in. So if you read some of the poems, some of the Advaita, etc., looks so dry, so much of joy is there and rejoicing with God, because don't allow him to escape. This is what the Gopikas did. There's a story with which I will end. Yeah. So all of you have to go very far, he says. And one day you can perhaps excuse me for that. The story in Mahabharata, Krishna is going around everywhere and asking everybody how to stop the war. Because he wanted the war to happen. Nakula and Sahadeva, two great jnanis in Panchapatava story, they talked very less. Then Sahadeva said, I know two ways of stopping the war. Krishna said, hey, tell me. One is, Draupadi's hair should be shaved off. But she said, unless I kill Dushasana and then his blood I will smear with my hair, I will not tie my hair. The hair creates all the problems. Number two, you fellow Krishna should be put in prison. When you are outside the prison, you will create all mischief. Sri Krishna said, the first is possible, but can you attempt the second? In the Chaturdasha Bhuvana, can anybody imprison me? He said, will you take the challenge? Look, he sat in meditation, put Sri Krishna in the lotus of his heart and tied him with the rope of bhakti. Krishna said, please release me, I am imprisoned. Aham bhakta paradhino aswatantra, famous statement. I am swatantra, nitya shuddha buddha mukta swatantra, but I am bhakta paradhina. I am the slave of devotees. So Swami Ramakrishnananda never wanted anything from Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna confused, what is meant? This is what. Sharada Devi did not want anything. If you don't want anything from God you want anything, He gives you what you want. If you don't want anything from God, what does He do? He gives Himself. He called Sharada, gave Himself, Shodashi Puja, he fell flat, all his samadhi, all his sadhana, all japamala, all Himself he gave. This is a very important clue that you get. Don't beg of God. He knows what is good for you at what time. Don't even ask for bhakti and mukti. Say, thy will be done. So Ramakrishnananda whole life he lived that. And the seed of bhakti which he sowed there, Kailashan used to say the creative power of bhakti. The biggest movement of the Ramakrishna mission is in Chennai Mutt and in and around in Tamil Nadu everywhere. Just the two boys have started the Ramakrishna mission, students' home. Brahmananda stayed there and created a spiritual atmosphere. When he offered Arghya to Sri Ramakrishna on that historic occasion, he went into Samadhi. So these great disciples, particularly the two people for whom I couldn't do much justice, swayed by emotion, they were the people who just built up brick by brick. The last days of Swami Ramakrishnananda, we have heard from the reminiscence of Bharat Maharaj, who himself was a sevak at that time. Tuberculosis called galloping phthisis. No treatment at that time was brought to Calcutta in Udbodhan. The entire within everything was simply, all bones were all gone, and we used to roll on the ground. This body has not done any sin. Why am I suffering so much? When he used to cough, Bharat Maharaj used to say, the blood stream used to go and touch the roof. Remember all of them a little, the kind of things, brick by their heart's blood they have built up this organization. Little by little. So we cannot repay. All that we can do is be faithful, be sincere, call on them, don't ask anything. It is not easy. And whatever you want, He knows. He will give you even unasked. If He does not give, His will. In the Old Testament, there is a book of Job. Job was so much faithful, devoted to God. God wanted to show His glory. One by one, all his children died. His choice. Job, are you not feeling upset? You are not crying? He said, God gave, God has taken away. Blessed be the will of God. So blessed be His will. Blessed we are that we are sitting at the feet of this great Parampara even today. And let us be faithful to them. Let us be true to them. Let us think of these glories. Leela Chintana. We may not meditate. We may not be able to do japa. Read this and then imagine that we are sitting with Brahmananda. You are moving with Ramakrishnananda. That very thought coloring your being will elevate to the greatest heights. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry that I overstepped my time.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om Tatsat. Shri Ramakrishna-Vivekananda. We can offer pronounced to Maharaj. Because on Saturday and Sunday evening, we have Ramcharitmanas. That's from 5:30 to 6:45. 5:30 to 6:45. 2 days we have evening time. That is on the 20th and 21st. This Saturday, next Saturday.